Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Take a gander at today's splash page to read about how financial institutions have dumped their cryptocurrency holdings for the fifth week running. However, Litecoin, XRP, and yet more altcoin. See, inflows are fascinating in their own right, and I'll tell you that there have been enormous withdrawals of Bitcoin and a surge in capital going directly to XRP in the last week or two. There wasn't a huge influx of capital into XRP, which I'll confess, absolutely not right at the beginning of this video. But when you consider how much money left Bitcoin and how much XRP rose, you have to wonder. This might be an intriguing period for XRP, and not just among retail speculators, but also among institutional investors. To be clear, I do not have any financial backing of any kind, and I am not offering financial advice. However, apart from this story, I am going to share with you a date that I think will be of crucial importance, and I think it would be reasonable to speculate, could be extremely volatile for XRP, in particular, and it's going to be within the next few weeks, for multiple reasons. You should not make any financial decisions based on the content of my YouTube channel. I'm simply a hobbyist that enjoys talking about cryptocurrency on the internet for kicks. Okay, so at the time this video was recorded, XRP was trading at 46 cents, Bitcoins were selling for $27,252, and the asset class's market size was $1.1 billion. So, yeah, there has been a lot of movement, but it has been essentially stagnant. However, as you'll see in the video, there are signs that something is brewing, and it's not unreasonable to expect a sizable upward move in the near future. The cryptocurrency market sentiment index is now at 50 out of 100. Speculators shouldn't be worried, and I hope they aren't overly greedy. Not only is this the majority of what we've seen recently, but also the majority of what we've seen in the last week. But this condition won't persist indefinitely. Therefore, even if there is a temporary setback to some green, things should remain exciting for the remainder of 2023. My guess is that they are. However, time will tell. Institutions have been selling cryptocurrency for 5 weeks in a row, led by Bitcoin. Boy, are they getting rid of that Bitcoin, but not XRP, according to a report from the Daily Huddle. Look at this report from CoinShares, a digital asset manager, which states that institutional investors are still being cautious on the market as the cryptocurrency sector experiences outflows for the fifth week running. CoinShares reports that institutional investors dumped another $32 million worth of cryptocurrencies this week, making this the fifth straight week of withdrawals from digital asset funds. By the way, I just retrieved the report and it's displayed on your monitor. The part one was going to emphasize was the part that talked about flows by assets in terms of millions. Bitcoin losses of $32.7 million, XRP gains of $200,000. I get $200,000 now. As far as institutions are concerned, that's chump change, I get it. Contrarily, the value of Bitcoins has dropped by 32 million. So, I'm just going to settle for what we have here and now. Current treatment currently, XRP is being handled in a very specific manner. I wonder whether that trend is related to how things are right now in terms of the potential for loss versus gain when purchasing XRP. Could that possibly have any bearing on the SEC versus Ripple case? What do you mean, in conjunction with the fact that the bear market is over? Certainly, one could make that case. I believe the bottom was reached in November of last year, barring any unforeseen circumstances. In any case, here's some sage advice on the purchase of digital assets. This week's withdrawals of $32 million were 7% of total AUM volumes of $900 million, making this the fifth consecutive week of outflows totaling $232 million. 40%. Volumes in the broader markets on reputable exchanges fell below their yearly average for the first time since late 2020. During the week, we're out $20 billion. Lots of capital is changing hands, but most of it isn't going into crypto. I feel the need to point out that, all things considered, XRP is doing quite well. Check this out, oh, right on the money. Today's opinion from former Cointelegraph analyst Ricochet. In addition, he made a few observations while conversing on a more general level regarding the characteristics of crypto assets that could serve as catalysts for significant price movement. I also noted a specific date was mentioned, which I believe would significantly affect crypto in some way. They're on the same day as an XRP-related event. Here, then, is a sampling of his analysis. Furthermore, take a look at this. This is utterly fascinating to me. Bitcoin prices have been relatively stable over the past few days. Tight ranges are typically followed by an extension of the range, which then leads to robust trending changes. Bitcoin's 7-day price range is equal to January 2023 and July 2020, according to a tweet posted by market analytics firm Glassnode on May 22. We're all aware that the beginning of the year 2023 held some promising prospects. We can't deny the existence of let's just say this XRP has always been along for the journey. XRP has undeniably tagged along. That's why you can't look at just one thing to determine what the most likely course of price action will be. Everything from fundamental research to technical analysis, insights from on-chain analytics to the pulse of public opinion as captured by social media, these are all fascinating to explore. It stands on its own, but when considered alongside everything else, it makes a pretty convincing case that we are going to be seeing bigger moves to the upside, albeit perhaps not quickly, the post says. Not only is Bitcoin at a crossroads, but so is the S&P 500 index. The S&P 500 rose 1.65% last week, putting it close to a significant level of resistance. Investors will be watching the result of the debt ceiling negotiations closely before making any bold moves. And so, it was paused to note that as a major factor actually, it's just because look, historically speaking, crypto markets and equity markets, they just move in 10, especially the big moves, they tend to move in tandem, not down to the second of the day, the week, etc. But they usually do, and that's making people wary about putting money into the market right now. And you already know the outcome, right? What invariably occurs is that the debt ceiling gets increased and the United States fiscal house is not put in order. That's exactly what's going to occur. That's how things have always gone. But that's another story altogether. I'm not going to stand on a pedestal and preach right now, instead, I'll just keep on going. The point I was trying to make is this, and so this is the case. Macroeconomic data and anticipated Fed action are thus relevant factors. But the date is such a strange coincidence, check this out. Macroeconomic data may also serve as a catalyst, as it may shed light on the Federal Reserve's anticipated course of action at its upcoming meeting on June 13 and 14. A pause by the Fed is expected to happen 72% of the time, according to the Fed monitoring tool. Okay, so the conventional opinion holds that the Federal Reserve will halt its recent interest rate increases for the time being. I only mention it now because of the date, but, seriously, what else occurs on June 13th? Right. By that time, the Hinman emails will have to be made public. Furthermore, as I mentioned in my most recent video, there is we already know for sure that XRP is included if you're talking about the coup, the group of emails that makes up what is often known as the Hinman emails. We are aware of this because it was mentioned in that very email conversation, albeit by someone other than an SEC employee. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, why do you fear you won't get a response? So, according to this study, XRP fails to meet the Howey test and is therefore not a security. We believe that the attorney recognized that in the context of the human emails, but chose not to respond. Is that the most likely scenario? I didn't start making them until I blew the lid off my little lunar family sedan. I'm sure those chatty attorneys have plenty to say about the subject. Simply put, we have no idea what that is. Assuming there is further data, it will likely pass muster with the SEC. My guess is yes, but I'm only guessing for fun, so I could be incorrect. Is it going to make people throughout the world gamble once it becomes public knowledge? Do holders of XRP have high, moderate, or low expectations for the SEC's decision in the SEC versus Ripple case? What's that supposed to accomplish? Because if it appears favorable, I wouldn't be shocked if that in and of itself prompted some sort of move to the upside, as has happened on many occasions this year when there has been perceived good news regarding the SEC versus Ripple case. Yes, there have been increases in value. Absolutely. Similar like when we learned that XRP pops will be released via the Hinman emails. Consider the beginning of March, when Judge Torres handed the SEC a scathing rebuke. In response to positive expert testimony, XRP prices rise. Therefore, if this is seen as a great boon for XRP, be wary of the 13th of June. Several factors deserve mention at this point. There is still a chance that the emails pertaining to Hinman will be made public before the deadline, but that day has now passed. Given the SEC's penchant for procrastination, I'm going to venture a prediction that it won't hit the dock until June 13th just for kicks. But I do admit that it's possible that may happen sooner. Please keep the SEC and Ripple in mind. They both requested an additional week with Judge Torres. The original due date was supposed to be June 6th, right? That makes sense, sure enough. June 6th, huh? The release date is therefore open. Earlier than. Yes, in a literal sense. I just don't see that happening. And then there's the issue of whether or not it really matters what the Federal Reserve does. What kind of reception do you anticipate that receiving? And certainly, it is dependent on their actions. Assuming that's good for XRP holders, which I believe that it likely will be, you also have that in conjunction, like maybe potentially right on when the Hinman emails drop in, and that's just another thing. If cryptocurrency markets are rising anyway, so what? Add XRP to the mix, and it's like throwing gasoline on a fire, right? I'm down with that. Naturally, therefore, none of this is guaranteed. And what if we have some awful news to deliver? That's not likely. But, obviously, something will occur. Please share your thoughts in the space provided below. Since I'm not a certified financial planner, you shouldn't use my advice to make any investments or trades. And please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.